Cities are my passion, and I do believe in the power of collective dream, in the possibility of constructing future scenarios capable of transforming for the better the habitat of the majority of the world's population. Thank you, SoPlace, for this honor and for supporting the belief that the sense of place, the connection between the residents and their environment is a meaningful one. All my life, I've dedicated myself to improve the quality of life in cities, for I strongly believe that they are the most important refuge of solidarity.
Well, I just want to salute what you're doing here in Malaysia. First of all, you know, this whole world of diaspora that I just talked about was really, there were just 5 or 6 countries in the world who were very active in this space for a long time. It is extremely timely. It's tapping into a topic which has become really, really interesting around the world. There's a lot of activity going on.
I'm delighted to participate in this conference on a sense of place. Sense of place is becoming a hot topic in our time. And a reason for that surely is the great mobility of people, such that we tend to lose a sense of place. I'm therefore delighted that there is a conference to discuss and possibly resuscitate the idea of a sense of place. If I understand it correctly, I believe that in the 18th century, people talk about the genius of place. We don't use that term as often nowadays, but we do use something equivalent, which is the sense of place.
The world I come from is the world of diaspora. That's my particular interest. And the one thing that really drives diaspora is a sense of place. Diaspora is referred to people who've left a country and gone to live overseas. And traditionally we used to think that they really connected back to their country of origin. But in reality what they really connect back to is their place of origin. And that place may not be a country, it may be a city, it may be a region, it may be a town, a village, it may be an organization. But people have a great sense of wanting to belong. And diasporas now, which have become such a huge topic, such a huge volume of people, 240 million people now live outside the country they were born in. I mean, that's a number that's gone up from 150 million in 1990. So migration is a phenomenon of our time. These people, in the old days when you left your place and went overseas, you were gone forever. Absence equaled exile. Now people are leading what we call hyphenated lives. They can be here and there. They can live in one country but be strongly connected to their country of ancestry, their country of affinity, or country of heritage. What's interesting is there are over 100 countries now in the world trying to figure out what are the strategies to connect people back to their country of origin or ancestry or heritage, and so they want to put in place strategies. And strategies means you need policies, you need programs, you need projects.
I think something I can say about sense of place is that in the old days, you wouldn't go very far from home. People could live and die without traveling more than a day's ride by horse from where they were born. And I mean, obviously that literally hasn't been true for many, many years. But the realm, like the way place is in people's minds, there's more and more places that we need to be aware of. The information overload that is part of every other aspect of modern life pertains as well to places. And for that reason, we need more heuristics. We need more ways of sifting through places to find out what's relevant to you. What kind of a place is relevant to you, in what way, whatever's on your mind for this thought, to go on holiday, to know something about, whatever it is, how place gets into your mind. There's more places that you have to think about and process and try to work out, does this mean something for me? Do I need to act on this information? And so forth.
Conference is absolutely essential in a world where we have massive population growth taking place, and cities that historically have had the time to build a brand over decades and even centuries suddenly have to accommodate massive growth where they're growing 2, 3, 5 times. So conferences like this one that begin to talk about the importance of place, the importance of making cities thematically strong and cohesive, coherent, functional, livable, and give the people who live there a sense of pride. That is an aspiration that we all will be striving towards in the future.
I'm really pleased to be here at the World Sense of Place Summit, which I think is an important event for cities everywhere. So let's look at something which I think is quite important, which is what is the next sort of urbanism that we need where sense of place is central. Urbanism is the dynamics of cities and how it works, and to be an urbanity is the qualities of being an urbanite. Now, there's something that I've talked about a lot, which I call civic urbanity, which was a sort of European city ideal, and I wonder whether some elements of it are really part of a global role model.
Well, I come to the issue of sense of place through tourism. Originally, I'm a travel journalist and worked with National Geographic for many years. And I realized some time ago that tourism was changing the face of the world, and it was changing the places that I like to visit. Tourism is, by some counts, the largest industry in the world, certainly one of the top 3. And it has the greatest impact in places that people love to visit, particularly seacoasts, mountain areas, and so on. And it has expanded so fast in the past 50 or 60 years that it is literally changing the face of the earth. You can see it in satellite photographs as resorts, condominiums, and villas expand over much of the world. So the concern that I have is that we are beginning to lose what I would call geographical diversity. And increasingly, when we visit a place, it looks very much like the last place we were. We see the same signs, the same international franchises, McDonald's, if you will, everywhere in the world. And this means we're losing something. And the approach that I have been encouraging, the idea of geotourism, is really to promote the difference between places, to celebrate that, to enhance it, and to protect the nature, the culture, the aesthetics, the architecture, the foods, the traditions that make one place different from another. That's what makes travel fun. It's what makes travel worthwhile. And the value for the people that live in these destinations that tourists come to visit is that if tourism is handled well, it enriches the quality of living there. But if tourism is handled badly, it can do the exact opposite and make sense of place first and foremost in tourism management and tourism policy.
And cities now are the best hope, we believe, for the future of the planet. And let me explain what I mean by that. Countries in the 20th century, 19th century, countries were the entity, the economic entity that drove prosperity and change, made the world more livable, made cities more livable, eliminated diseases like cholera from cities by investing in the civic infrastructure. The world of the 21st century has new challenges outside of those that were just infrastructure related, and challenges outside of population. And those are things, challenges like climate change, for example. And the cities as a collective force, I think we're seeing, are becoming more and more like the city-states of the past, like a Venice, for example, that was a very powerful political entity.
I think it's an interesting idea. Sense of place, as I said a moment ago, is a concept that's kind of visceral. You think, okay, sense of place, I know what that means. So I like that word because it's that term, because it's less jargony than a lot of things that are used. It's emotive, it's human. Place, however, is big. There's all kind. We're in a place right now. This room is a place. This city is a place. This country is a place. So that may be too big an idea. That's one thing that I would worry about. But perhaps if we stick to that emotional, just that side of it, or that quick perceptual gut sense of place, that's limiting enough to make it useful. And in that case, like-minded people are the ones that you want to have gathered around the table. The ones who intuitively go, I understand what you mean when you say sense of place.
And we're really passionate about how our cities are changing and how digital information can provide a new way in order to understand better our cities, design them better, and ultimately change the way we live in them. And if you think about it, all these technologies, they change our life for the past 10, 15, 20 years. About navigating space, the way we meet each other, the way we get access to knowledge, the way we work, the way we do things on the way in a way that we couldn't just a few years ago. Well, all of this now is this technology, atomized, network dispersed, is entering urban space. And some people call this field smart cities. We prefer to call it sensible cities. We think the sensible city puts people at the center more than technology, and that's really what we try to explore every day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.